Hi, my name is Katie Clayton. I am with Higginbotham Insurance. We are the broker for your benefits with Hospice of Wichita Falls. And it's that time of year again to make your enrollment elections. So there's not a whole lot of changes from the years past. So I just wanted to kind of refresh everybody on what benefits that Hospice of Wichita Falls offers for you guys. So I'm going to run through everything, and then if you have any questions, you can certainly always contact HR or contact us directly, and we are happy to help anytime throughout the year. So just feel free. I know I'm going to run through this kind of quickly. There's always some resources to answer your questions that are more in depth, that you need a little bit more detail. I'm going to be speaking from the benefit booklet, so if you have that in front of you, great. If not, this is available for you, and I'll try to make sure to go over it as clearly as possible if you don't have a visual. So we're going to talk about the medical insurance first. That is with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Hospice offers 2 medical plans for you guys. The first one is kind of what we call our copay plan, and then the second plan that's offered, kind of your base plan, is a no copay plan, and I'll kind of go over the differences between the two. So your first plan is the PPO copay plan, and that plan name is MM31. You have a $5,000 deductible, a 80% coinsurance, and a $5,600 out-of-pocket maximum. So what does that mean? I like to kind of explain it in a stair step. So you have your first step, which is your deductible and what you're responsible for to meet. So you have that $5,000 individual deductible. After you've met that deductible, Blue Cross starts kicking in some help. Well, they're covered 80%, and you cover the remaining 20 until the rest of that out-of-pocket max of the $5,600 is met. Once you've met that out-of-pocket max, you're done and covered at 100%. If you go to the doctor, whether it's a primary care or a specialist, that's going to be a $40 office visit copay. Any preventative services on either of these medical plans are going to be covered at 100%. So anything that's coded as preventive, your annual exam, your well woman, anything like that, those are going to be covered at 100% under your plan. Take a note on the emergency room. It's a $100 copay, but on top of that $100 copay, you're still going to be subject to deductible and coinsurance for anything else done in there, labs, x-rays, the physician charge. Just know that it's not just that $100 copay when you go into the emergency room. There could be other charges on top of that as well that are subject to the deductible. Take a look at your prescription drugs. You actually have a separate $1,000 out-of-pocket max that you need to meet on your prescriptions. So there's a 3-tier copay system where you have a $20, $40, $60 copay associated with your prescription that you pick up. Those copays apply toward that $1,000 RX out-of-pocket max. Once you've met that $1,000, then you no longer owe copays. So for example, I think if you had 15 prescriptions that were the $60 copay, that would meet that $1,000, and then you'd no longer owe any copays. One note that I do like to point out, this has been this way for the last couple of years, but CVS is a very popular pharmacy that people go to. It is actually not in the Blue Cross and Blue Shield network. They kind of belong to the Aetna, so CVS and Blue Cross don't quite get along, so they are not in the Blue Cross and Blue Shield network. You can still use them as a pharmacy, but just know you won't get the same benefits as you would going to an in-network pharmacy with the plan. The other plan that's offered is MTBC P609. I just call it the HSA, or the no copay plan. So this is a $6,000 deductible, and then once you meet that $6,000, you're done and covered at 100%. Biggest difference on this plan is that there are no office visit or prescription copays. So when you go to the doctor, you're paying whatever that negotiated rate is for that visit. You're still getting a discount on your services, on your prescriptions, but you don't have a copay associated with those visits. So whatever you're paying is that contracted rate, and then that applies towards that $6,000. So every dollar you spend is applying toward that. Once you meet the $6,000, you're done and covered at 100%. So say you go to the doctor, you're not feeling well, and they charge $100 for that visit, the contractor rate. You pay that $100, it applies toward the $6,000. So what's also different about this plan is that Hospice of Wichita Falls has implemented what they call an HRA, or a health reimbursement arrangement. So in the eyes of Blue Cross and Blue Shield, you have a $6,000 deductible. But what Hospice has done is they've taken it and they're going to pay the last $1,000 of your $6,000. So you'd really only be responsible for $5,000, and then you get reimbursed that last $1,000. And we'll kind of go over the steps, and I can tell you where to find the steps on how to get that reimbursement back. So we'll talk about the HRA. Higginbotham administers the health reimbursement arrangement for you guys, so we're certainly here to help you walk through that. We have a department that handles that. They're just going to need a copy of your EOBs and a claim form. That can all be found in Benefits in Hand. Also, there's instructions on page 6 of the benefit booklet, just kind of give you details on, you can either email it, upload it to the online portal, you can fax it in, or you can mail it into our HRA department, and they will handle that reimbursement for you. So you're going to meet that $6,000, and then you'll be reimbursed that last $1,000. So we talk about the HRA on that last plan. What also is able to be contributed to this last plan that we did with no copays is the Health Savings Account, or HSA. So what is the HSA? It gives you the ability to put aside pre-tax dollars into a savings account that you can use on medical, dental, and vision expenses throughout the year. It's not use it or lose it. You're able to roll over those amounts year after year, and it can continue to build, which is great. You don't have to use it by the end of the year. Those dollars keep rolling over. What's also great is that you can use it on your dependents, your spouse, your kiddos that are in your household, but don't necessarily have to be on your plan. So even if your kiddos aren't on the medical plan with you, or your spouse isn't on the dental plan with you, however your tiers are set up, that doesn't mean that you can't use those HSA dollars for those people in your household. So that's kind of a nice benefit to be able to use it on your family members as well, even though they're not on your medical, dental, and or vision plan. The other thing I like to note on the health savings account is once you turn 65, those dollars can be used for whatever you want. So it can also just be something that you build over the years and just use that money after you turn 65 for vacation or whatever you'd like to spend it on. So again, bottom of page 6 kind of goes over the information on the HRA and the HSA. And if you have any other questions, just feel to reach out to us and we'll go over all of that in more detail. One of the services we like to point out is what we call GoodRx. It's an app that you can get on your phone. It is not something that's exclusively through Higginbotham. I'm sure you've even seen the commercials on TV about GoodRx. It gives you the ability to shop for your prescriptions, because believe it or not, the same prescription can cost different amounts at different pharmacies. So you can kind of do a little bit of shopping on where it's least expensive, and sometimes you won't even have to use your Blue Cross and Blue Shield insurance. You can get a better rate by just paying the cash price with the discounts that they have on the GoodRx app, or you can print out a coupon. They have all sorts of options there. So it's something we just like to point out that can help you save money and help save the plan money, because less is hitting on that medical plan. Something that's also available to you guys is Teladoc. It is a 24/7 doctor's line that you can use for you and your family members on kind of your basic illnesses, your flus, your pink eyes, your allergies or sinus infections, things like that. So this is a voluntary benefit that you can elect for yourself, and just keep in mind that you need to make sure to create your login either online or through the app on the phone, or giving them a call. Make sure that you and your dependents are set up in the system so that when you are sick, that you're ready to go and call and you can get just business taken care of. Last thing you want to do is to have to go through the initial setup when someone's not feeling well. So you'll just make sure that that's set up, and then whenever you're not feeling well, you can give them a call, go over your symptoms, and they can give you, write your prescription into your pharmacy. You just go pick it up and go about your day or go back home and rest. So really great service that you guys have available for you. Your vision plan is still with Superior Vision. It's a great network, especially here locally, so just make sure that you look in benefits in hand. There's a provider list of who is in network with Superior Vision. I suggest if you're going to take the vision plan that you go to an in-network provider. That's on the vision, you have a $10 eye exam copay, a $25 eyewear copay. How it works on your frames and contact lenses: you can only get frames every 2 years, and in lieu of contact lenses, you can't get them both in the same year. You get a $160 credit, and that applies toward the total balance for your frames or your contact lenses. You just pay the difference between there. One thing to note on vision, it is based on date of service. So your medical and your dental coverages, those are based on calendar year, January to December. Vision is always based on date of service. So if you go get an eye exam on November 1st, you can't get another eye exam paid for on the plan until next November 1st. So let's go over to dental. That is with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, still the same plan that we've been offering. It is a $1,500 annual max, so that's the max that a plan will pay for each individual on the plan in a calendar year. All your preventative services, your cleanings, your sealants, those are going to be covered at 100%. Your basic services will be covered at 80%, and then anything major, your crowns and things like that, will be covered at 50%. Keep in mind, on those major services, there is a 12-month waiting period. So if you're coming onto the plan for the first time, those major services won't be covered until you've met that 12-month waiting period. You also see that there is ortho coverage. That is a $1,500 lifetime max per participant that they will cover at 50%. Keep in mind that dentist providers can come on and off the network at any time. We've had some complaints about, well, my dentist was in the network when I went to my last visit and now they're not. That seems to be a common trend, especially on the dental side. So just keep in mind that they can come on and off network. What we suggest is to reach out to your dentist and encourage them to stay in the network or get on the Blue Cross and Blue Shield network. Hospice of Wichita Falls also provides a $25,000 life AD&D benefit for you at no cost. So your beneficiary, if you die is of natural causes, will get a $25,000 benefit. If you die in an accident, they'll get double that. They'll get a $50,000 benefit. It's a good time to remind you to make sure that when you're going through your benefits in hand, that you make sure that you have a beneficiary elected, and also it's who you want to receive the funds if something happens to you. Worst case scenario we've had happen before is that a member that they had set up as a beneficiary wasn't the most updated who needed to be able to receive that benefit. So just make sure every year that you go through, if you have changes throughout the year, that can be updated. You have the ability to purchase additional life insurance on top of the $25,000 benefit that hospice provides for you. So if you are currently enrolled in the life insurance and you're under the $100,000 guarantee issue, you're going to be able to add an additional $10,000 at open enrollment without answering medical questions. But if you're coming on, you've been an employee for a while at hospice and you're coming on the voluntary life for the first time, you will need to answer medical questions. If you are a new hire, you are able to get the $100,000 guarantee issue without answering medical questions. Any spouse that's making a change throughout the year will need to answer medical questions if they're wanting the voluntary life. So again, just make sure that you have an updated beneficiary, and any questions on that coverage, just let us know. Looking over at a disability insurance, which is insurance for your paycheck. if you're suddenly ill or you have an accident and you're not able to come to work, there are 2 options that you can participate in to help you cover what you're not getting from your regular paycheck by being at work. So you have the short-term disability and the long-term disability, and they're like they sound. If you're out for a short period of time, whether it's from being sick or injured or you're on maternity leave, this gives you the ability to receive up 60% of your weekly earnings. It's for an 11-week period, but there is a 14-day waiting period for that, so on the 15th day is when the benefits can start. So again, 60% of your weekly earnings up to a max of $1,000. So then if you're going to be out for longer, and it's going past that 11 weeks, you're going to have the ability to have the long-term disability. That's going to be on a monthly basis. It's 60% of your monthly earnings up to a $6,000 benefit. So again, 2 different ways to be able to cover your paycheck, or at least supplement that a little bit while you're unable to work. 2 new plans that we are offering is the accident and critical illness with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So the accident policy is an inexpensive way for your kiddos if they're playing sports, or your weekend warriors, you're out in the woods or things like that, to have a little bit of extra coverage. It pays a cash benefit for injuries that happen during an accident, whether it's a fracture, a cut, anything like that could happen in sports. It gives you a cash benefit depending on what the injury is. So a great inexpensive way to get some additional coverage, especially on kids that are active in sports, or again, if you're out weekend warring and doing some extracurricular activities that could be a little dangerous. We also have a critical illness plan. It's a great plan to have some protection for your big ticket items, your cancer, your heart attack, transplant, things like that. It's going to pay you a lump sum benefit for anything that happens, that it will be considered a critical illness. So you can have a $5,000 or a $10,000 benefit if you are an employee. You can also get it on a spouse at a $2,500 or $5,000 benefit, and you can also get it on a kiddo as well at a $25,000 benefit. So a really inexpensive way to get some added protection. So for example, if you're 40 years old as an employee and you want a $10,000 critical illness benefit, that's going to be $7.87 per paycheck. So great way to get some added coverage for some scary items that could come up. Just keep in mind on the critical illness, there is a pre-existing, so if you've been treated for or diagnosed in the past 12 months, they're going to look back at that. Doesn't mean that you can't get coverage for something else that happens, but just know you'll have to wait that 12 months before you can get that benefit covered under the critical illness. Some of the value-added services with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, they offer a beneficiary resource service. A loved one dies, they do an advance payment of up to $10,000 on that life insurance benefit, and they just offer services to help with the grieving and taking care of all of that for you guys, and this is at no cost to you. Also, they have an employee assistance program that gives you face-to-face sessions, or you can do it over the phone. Just some counseling to go through any issues, job issues, grief, loss, depression, anxiety, divorce, things like that. It's a service available to you to kind of talk through some things if you feel those overwhelming things that can come up during your life. So really great resource that they provide for you. There's also a travel resource. If you're more than 100 miles from home, they can help get you there if something happens while you're away. So also a great resource that you have available for you. Blue Cross also offers a wellness resource. It's called their Well on Target program. They have fitness programs, 24-hour nurse line. They have maternity programs, things like that that can really help provide at no cost some ways to get better lifestyle choices and things like that. Hospice of Wichita Falls also has a wellness program, and they'll go over with that with you individually. It is in the booklet, kind of the point-based structure that they have for different challenges and wellness points that you can get, and that's listed on page 15 of the booklet. There's also a tobacco cessation program through Hospice of Wichita Falls, and they can go over that with you as well. Participating in these programs can help lower the cost that you're paying per paycheck out of your on your medical insurance premiums. On page 16 of the booklet, you'll be able to take a look at going through the instructions for the online enrollment through Benefits in Hand. This is how you're going to make your elections, whether you're going through open enrollment or you're a new hire. This is how you let us know what elections you want to pick. And it's kind of like a cafeteria. You can take medical but not dental. You can have vision and have your spouse on it but not any of the others. So it's just kind of a way to have you go through the enrollment, let us know what you elect, and just gives you a screenshot of what all that costs and is coming out of your paycheck. So everyone will need to go through that and complete an enrollment, and instructions are on in the booklet. If you're having trouble with enrollment, you're having questions on the benefits, we have our Employee Response Center here at Higginbotham set up for you guys. They can go over any benefit questions. They can help you through Benefits in Hand if you're having trouble making an election. Our team here is certainly always happy to help your HR, but if for some reason aren't available at the moment or it's for Benefits in Hand, they're much more well-versed in going through that enrollment system and making sure that you have your elections taken. So we do have that set up for you guys, and information is in the booklet on the number to call, and they can go over anything that you have during your enrollment period. You have your legal notices and things like that. If you need a little light reading, on the back of the booklet you'll see that there are important contacts, whether it's with the carrier or our team here at Higginbotham. Luann, Morgan, and myself are always happy to help throughout the year, and our phone number and email address are here. We work closely with your HR team, answering any questions, so if you feel more comfortable going through them, they can always reach out to us as well. So we are happy to help. I know we're usually there in person going through all of this, so I appreciate your patience in listening to this video, and please let us know if you have any questions. Have a great day.